Tucker Carlson, who has his video podcast, this week after he had Nick Fuentes on his show, the notorious white supremacist, sparking intense backlash and hand-wringing within the conservative movement. This week, he had a full conversation about chemtrails. Let's take a look at the clip.
It's always the obvious questions that are so vigorously discouraged. And one of the questions that's been the most discouraged over the past 30 years are, what are those lines in the sky that you see trailing jets? What is that? Some people call them chemtrails, claim that somehow the U.S. government is spraying poison on the population. Those people are clearly crazy. Wikipedia calls them crazy. Every news outlet calls them crazy. But the trails are still there. And it's clearly not water vapor, because that doesn't make sense at all. So what are they?
They're sprayed particulate dispersion. There is no theory in this equation. In New York, one of the world's most renowned testing institutions, we found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. So again, there's no theory involved in any of this.
So first of all, that was Dave Wigington. He is a conspiracy theorist. First of all, just to say it out loud, it actually is water vapor that is coming out of airplanes that are flying overhead. That, just baseline, that is actually what is happening here. But everything that's being said here about it being aluminum that's poisoning the public, that's complete nonsense. What?
Well, it's amazing how he does this. He's taking the thing about I am just asking questions to, a whole new level here with this chemtrails thing. I mean, obviously Tucker Carlson's a smart guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows, I don't believe that he believes that the government is spraying the population with poison via jets in the sky. I don't think that's something that Tucker Carlson actually believes. But he is willing to entertain these kooky conspiracy theories, some of them more dangerous than others, because I think he wants an audience. He's desperate for attention. And the problem for him is he keeps pushing the envelope further and further and further. And the only way to get attention is by going further and further and further. He's almost like the South Park creators. He has to find a new taboo every single week to get attention. And I think that's what he's doing here. Unfortunately, a lot of people listen to Tucker Carlson and believe the things he's saying. And so that, and this has been a persistent conspiracy theory, the chemtrails conspiracy theory, for many, many years. And Tucker Carlson giving it credence, I think, is going to persuade, maybe you could argue, poison people's minds into believing that the government is actually behaving in this weird way. And by the way, what Tucker Carlson doesn't say, and I'd be curious to know, if he actually thinks the government is poisoning people via jets, I guess that means Donald Trump is in on it. Donald Trump is the one poisoning everyone. You don't hear him say that, but he is the man leading the federal government. And, that's something to throw out there as well.
I think that's exactly right. I think he's doing this because he knows that if you court controversy, people will be talking about you. And he's happy to do that to, continue to gain popularity, gain followers, gain viewers, and therefore, make money off of this, profit off of it. And I think that is what we're seeing between what he did with Nick Fuentes, where he offered him a softball interview. And now I think that's what we're seeing with things like chemtrails, which have long been debunked, and they're a joke, but trying to put a sort of, is this actually real? I went and investigated it myself by bringing a conspiracy theorist on.
It took 6 months, he said, to find this expert to bring on the show. This man is really trying to get that Golden Globe. He is working really hard for that Golden Globe from Jay Penske.
I've actually forgot about that.
This is the clip they're going to show when he wins the Golden Globe for Best Podcast. It's going to be the chemtrails clip, followed by, I guess, Nick Fuentes and who knows what else.
But I think what this is going to do is it's going to make a substantial portion of the MAGA base who listen to Tucker Carlson, who trust him, who are listening to this and to this man, Wigington, who says that the point of chemtrails is to destabilize the food supply, destabilize rain, and therefore the population. There's this more sinister thing that authorities, the government, is trying to basically, like you said, poison you and to control you. And that these sinister forces are out there, And so that leads you to the question of like, oh boy, well, what are we going to do about this, right? We need to do something about this. This is a real problem. And this is how you get that conspiratorial thinking that leads you to where we are, where you have a government in many ways that is run by somebody who has promoted conspiracy theories repeatedly over the years. And that thinking is a key part of our politics in 2025. And I think that this is Tucker Carlson is now playing a key role in doing that. He's, in fact, I think, unseated Alex Jones in that space. You don't even hear about Alex Jones, aside from like the Sandy Hook lawsuit stuff, having any sort of influence. Even though he's been platformed again by Elon Musk, he's hanging out on Twitter and tweeting things all the time. It's Tucker Carlson who's like, you know what? I'm just going to go there. And who cares if it's bullshit?
He has that Fox News sheen still on him. Mm-hmm. And so he's considered to be more mainstream and acceptable. He's the one that speaks at the RNC for Donald Trump. He's perceived differently by the public, and he's covered differently by the press. And we've talked about this a number of times. Anytime the New York Times covers Alex Jones, it's right-wing conspiracy theorist at the front, right? Quick label. The public knows exactly who he is. When you talk about Tucker Carlson, most news organizations still, for whatever reason, they call him the former Fox News host, Tucker Carlson, right? And that gives them some level of credibility to people who might not understand how far Tucker Carlson has gone. And so I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. The reason, or one of the reasons that he is, I guess, so dangerous is because people view him as a reasonable mainstream figure, whereas they've always viewed Alex Jones as that kooky guy on the internet ranting and raving.
It's a good point. And I think the same is true in some ways, though not to the extent with Megyn Kelly and her former life at NBC and Fox News. And she's definitely a gateway into this world where you sort of start buying into it. There's a veneer of credibility. She's a fair-minded journalist. And the same thing is true for Tucker Carlson. And in a way you go into chemtrails and white supremacy. I mean, it's totally bonkers.
It's not even a rabbit hole anymore because there's no hole. It's just there, right? It's just like you just walk in the door and it's right there. It's not even hidden. It's in plain sight. Thank you for watching Power Lines. For more analysis and insight, subscribe to our YouTube channel down below, like this video, and you can watch more of us right over here.